Oh, look at that. Oh, I hit it. Damn it. I hate when I do that. I hit the button.
You hit it?
Did.
Oh,
I did. And we are live.
You know what this occasion marks?
I don't know. What is it marked?
If we were to say we plan to go on at 8, this is the first time we're early.
And probably the last.
or is it? I don't actually know.
Probably.
I don't even.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we. I have no idea whether or not we'll ever make 8 o'clock on those again. We're a little bit early, but in that same respect, you are correct, sir. We did say at some point we would move tonight, and look, just so everybody knows, we moved tonight out of necessity because, you know, sick kids and stuff, and you just got to do work when you have other times, and that's what happened. But this week, though, in case you're watching and you're just catching up, probably gonna miss one other show, but we'll probably on a night show on Thursday as well. So there's that.
Yep. So yeah, welcome. If it's your first time being here, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
We normally did our show about 2 o'clock Eastern time.
Not today,
but we've been talking
sir.
about doing a night evening thing for a while, so here we go.
Here and away we go. That is us. Look at us. Look at us go.
Look at us.
We are special. I don't know how special we really. I don't think we're special actually. We're adequate. Would that be the word?
just
we're
adequate.
Just adequate.
Just, enough.
We are enough. We are. All right. I'm gonna say my favorite thing here. I'm gonna say actually tonight 20 seconds. You know why? Because
oh my.
I'm doubling up because I want to see if I can hit 8 o'clock on the nose. Let's see. That was 20 seconds. So now it's looking like I'm gonna say 10 seconds. Let's see.
Yep. That's about right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and howdy, everybody. Welcome. Not Your Average Show. It is, what is it? The 25th? 26th.
26.
Oh, and it just ticked over to 8 p.m. There you go. And
8.
It is time for the Not Your Average Show. Good evening, all. I hope
good
everyone
morning, good evening.
Good
night. Sure.
Why not?
It's good morning for all Australian friends.
We have friends in Australia. I didn't think we had anybody in Australia.
Yeah,
sure.
Some of our people are regulars.
I mean, you could one would say that would be yes, but no, I don't think so. I don't. Well, I hope we have friends in Australia. That'd be nice to know, at the very least. And I'm doing some work on the background just now, just figuring out that, you know what, I probably have the wrong screen share set up for today's show, so I better change that before I make some major mistakes here. How's that sound?
That sounds advisable.
Yeah, that is very. I am advising myself to take my own advice, and I have changed it because
perfect.
It was quite necessary, and I just wanted to make sure that was done because otherwise I would have been sharing the OBS link screen, which would have been funny in and of itself, but not necessarily the greatest thing for our customers.
We probably wouldn't have clipped that.
Yeah, probably not. Because probably
maybe we
I don't know. Maybe we would have. It would have just been like, well, we screwed up.
It's part of what we do here. Again, if you're new, welcome.
Yeah.
We kind of talk about different stuff here, and part of our whole thing, is you're behind the scenes.
Yes.
I know this is the show, but it goes how it goes, right? We don't. It doesn't always go to plan, and that's how it is. So,
and today we've got some interesting topics for you. Today we got the Mustang Mach E just recently got in its crash tests. Okay, so let's just set the basis for what's going on here. The what is it? It's the IIHS. What is it?
IIHS.
IIHS.
International. Yeah, the Insurance
Highway Safety
Institute,
right? So they just crashed the Mustang Mach E, and they gave it one of its best ratings, and it missed out on a plus rating, and there's a very specific reason why it missed out on a plus rating. So we're going to talk about that. But it's pretty amazing also to know the fact that the Mustang Mach E also hit a couple of marks that the Teslas managed to hit, and now also at the same time Volvo hit the same with their line of e-cars.
e-tron.
So there's that. And the Audi e-tron has also hit that one too.
Yep, e-tron's there.
So there's a couple. There's a couple in this group, and then we're going to talk to you about SLS getting on the move. It has taken a trip. There's some more information news there, as well as the Ingenuity helicopter has made a higher,
right.
faster, better flight. And then China's got a Starship.
Yep. We'll close it out with that as a.
That's all I can really say. But China's got a yeah. And I mean it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, let me kick it off with over to Mars.
Oh, really? You're just go ahead, man. I don't care. Go ahead. You're all good.
Let's do it.
You're there.
Yeah.
You're in Mars, my friend.
Again, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We'll kick it off going a bit over to some Mars news. Back for a little bit of news for the Ingenuity helicopter, which is on Mars. So, if you're not up to speed on that, part of the we sent a rover there, the Perseverance, and on the Perseverance rover was a helicopter that is semi-autonomous that we've been flying over there. It's done 3 flights now, so it's done 2 previous flights, both successful. And really, if you're catching up to speed with this whole thing, it's a test platform in a way, right? They're up there testing autonomous, powered flight on another planet using rotors, other than something other than rockets and things that we're familiar with using, right? So this is literally a helicopter, a drone, if you want to call it that. Not totally on another level than drones you'd see here, but it's kind of on the same idea. Up on Mars. And so again, I wanted to point out that we've made 3 flights now. This is the 3rd one. It just happened very recently. And let me pull it. It's 4:31 a.m. Eastern time. So, it's pretty early. But remember, it's on the planet, so it's all going on different time zones for it there. But we started getting data back at 10:16 a.m. Eastern time. NASA's JPL started getting some data back, and Mike's got the video going. I think right now too. That's
going,
actual video from the mast cam. So the camera on the mast on the rover itself, the Perseverance rover. So it's taking a video looking at the helicopter as the helicopter is doing its flight. And so I just want to read some of the actual figures here for you. So it rose. So it took off at 4:31 a.m. Eastern time, local Mars time there at 12:33 p.m. on Mars. Rise up to 5 meters, which actually is the same height as it flew last time. However, this time it zipped a downrange about 50 meters. So again, about half of the length of a football field, and did a bit of a higher top speed here at 6.6 feet per second.
You can see it pretty well in the video,
and it's moving. It's moving in there. So it actually flies out of frame, even far enough that it's out of frame, and comes back and lands. And again, remember, this is all autonomous
on Mars,
and really proof of concept, right? They're doing this not controlled. One thing maybe to point out, right? Mars is far enough away, right, that there's no possible way that someone could actually be flying this thing. It's all pre-programmed and it's flying itself. So it's pretty cool.
Hey, it'd be funny though to see like a Martian up there with a little, yellow vest on that says, drone operator on the back with an FAA UAS, license. That would, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. What is it? PIC? Where they got to mark who the PIC is.
Yeah. That would be awesome because.
And So
but now here,
but they should be making like 2 more flights with this at least, and it's pretty cool, guys. Honestly, if you guys don't know, we're both helicopter pilots and airplane pilots,
US
so
pilots.
We think it's pretty cool that we've got some powered aircraft on the planet.
Here's the difference. They broke their own laws because technically when you're operating a UAS, you have to apply for an exemption in order to operate beyond line of sight. And technically when that drone or, the Ingenuity went off camera, technically it was beyond line of sight of the operator. And so I hope they have the exemption to operate in the airspace in Mars to do that.
Yep, fully autonomous, unless somebody at JPL's, pointing a big telescope over Mars. Man. I can see it.
I can still see it. Yeah.
Then so the FA's, the FA is going to be on them real shortly.
They'll be knocking on your door.
Look, man, at line of sight. What are you doing?
Now the other thing I want to make sure is, did they put the little sticker, with their little N number, and did they register it? Is it on the actual drone? Because that's going to be the next thing that the FAA is going to probably come up and say, "Hey, fellas, did you really register it? Because look."
Well,
and technically who owns the airspace in Mars? But I'm kidding about all these things because in reality, that is probably one of the greatest technical achievements of our lifetimes. And outside of going to the moon, right, putting men on other surfaces, and Mars Ingenuity, that copter is really the foreground and the forerunner of humans making progress.
Having powered. drones on other planets flying around. I mean, every planet's different, of course, with atmosphere densities and whatnot. But we're gonna have more flying things on Mars now for sure.
For
And
sure.
I mean, we're gonna have submarines on other moons over in Jupiter. I think it's I'm not sure. It might be Titan. They're gonna put a submarine under
Yeah.
the moon up there. There's some cool stuff going on. So
The time of
yeah,
the time of autonomous objects, going out to do research. And look, if you remember the days in Star Trek, in the days of old when they'd say send a probe out, right? We've never
hmm
really, we've had Voyager, we've had other probes that we've sent into deep space, and they've done fantastic work, and some of them have operated for many decades beyond what they thought they were
yeah.
capable in their service life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is beyond one of those other. Uh, you kind of try to wrap your mind around what it's really going to mean in terms of what science it's going to bring back, right? It extends the range of the rover itself. It extends the ability
Oh
for
yeah.
it to look out over the horizon. It does so much more that, how could you not be excited for it? Yeah, now, of course, there's other people who'd be like, well, I don't really care. But hey, I'm excited for it. Good for them.
Yeah. Into space exploration, where we've got a mini helicopter on another
Yeah,
planet
that's
flying
pretty
around.
cool. It'll be sad if it ever fails, though. For that team, for all the
Of
hard
course.
work that they've put into it, and I hope they get the continued success because, again, the value is immense. Now, here's the other thing that it also proves. I wonder what's going to happen in scale, say 25, 30 years from now, when we have possibly operational flying aircraft on the Martian surface that are part of human development or human exploration teams that are up there and they're looking for mobility beyond just something of a tracked vehicle. Because if you look in in the annals of sci-fi and technology, right, the most
hmm
interesting thing is they're
Yeah.
always a tracked vehicle. No one ever, like, yes, there's other sci-fi moments where it's
Flying a helicopter on
yeah,
on
flying
Mars.
a helicopter on Mars is not something that you've seen in a practicality sense in a sci-fi thriller, nor have you seen like some sort of
hmm
drone flying up there. So I think it's fascinating what it opens up in even the minds of people into sci-fi and things of that nature.
To get a little bit technical, not to get too off topic here, but we're both pilots. When you're flying a helicopter and you kind of hit the speed of the rotation of the main
Yeah,
rotor
yeah,
blades,
yeah, yeah.
450 revolutions per minute. You're kind of used to like that
Yeah,
frequency.
yeah.
If you're flying on Mars, it's like 5 times
No,
as
I know.
fast. Can you imagine powering that thing up? Like, oh my
Like,
god, what
like first of all, to be under that is probably pretty wicked because
it's like a blender, man. I'm like, oh
But
man.
but on the same note, the oscillations and vibrations that you're going to get from it might be more streamlined, but when it does go erratic and you do feel
hmm
some sort of imbalance in the rotor
Oh my
system,
gosh, yeah.
it's going to be
You're gonna
mean. You're
know.
going to know. But now the fact that now that also explains a lot why they went with the rotor system design that they did, because to have
Mhm.
the counter rotating rotors obviously cancels out the anti-torque system from a tail rotor. It reduces the mechanical
Yep.
stress on having to have a transmission, produce more, or putting an electric motor out on an arm to compensate.
Yep.
But the other
Yeah.
part of it
Yeah.
is that for those extreme RPMs, I'm sure that was a balance issue. 7,000
I can
RPM,
imagine somebody must have been thinking about that.
right?
I mean, I know these blades are super lightweight, but yeah, oh
But
yeah.
think about it, because usually you have to have your tail rotor going at either at a 6-to-1 ratio to make up for the surface area of the main rotor, right? You would have had to have a tail rotor that would possibly be spinning. You're saying 7,000 times 6?
Well, no, they said the main rotor is spinning about 2,500
Oh,
RPM.
okay, so it's not that bad. Okay, well, still, that's still, you're still
So
looking at
450 to 2,500 on Mars, so it's obviously significantly faster. The density is way down. I mean,
right.
one thing too. I mean, maybe haven't mentioned is all the other things we might get that we could use back here on Earth, right? Because they had to make all these components able to work in way less density atmosphere, right?
You
So
could have a highly efficient
rotor
rotor
shape,
head.
all the shape of the
Oh,
aerodynamics
yeah.
of everything is.
Ooh, now that I think about the feathered design of this thing, right? The feathered design of the way that we've looked at it before and the way that the Ingenuity looks in and of itself, right? Those blades are highly feathered, and there's something.
Yeah, you got a
Yeah, I
picture of
actually
it
do,
or
because
something?
now
Show people.
there's something that I'm thinking about here, and it's interesting that you should bring this up because I'm surprised we didn't talk about this at length before. But this image is coming from via Wired. So I'm just going to flash this up on screen really quick as a conversational
Yeah,
piece,
waiting
because
for you to waiting to see it here.
here's what it is, right? Here's this it's a beautiful looking design, okay? It's actually fantastic, but those blades and the blade structure, and they're very different from the blade shape that you see on a helicopter, which are probably more squared. These are more dihedral. They look more natural because they're obviously going to be going faster. However, I wonder if that design would be too efficient for a helicopter in today's world, where they would actually physically have to slow down the rotor speed and do other things, because you would literally get so much more atmospheric resistance that you couldn't find a transmission that could handle the torque.
Well, I imagine, because you remember, you can see, how the cord is. Well, I'm going to use too many words here, but you see how there's more blade near the root,
sure.
because it doesn't spin as fast there and everything. I mean, maybe we shouldn't go too much into this because we'd have to explain a whole bunch of terms.
Right.
But I guess the point being is it's very interesting that they've got this thing working on Mars, and we're speculating together, the two of us, that we're quite sure they'll be able to use some of the things they're going to learn from this device on another planet back here on Earth to make things more efficient. I mean, the things that we have learned from space travel and exploration in the past is just so numerous. In everyday life too. So
and that's the funniest thing is that, and here's just one more shot of this is a picture of an actual size before it would actually went into space. A gentleman that was putting it on board. It's actually considerably larger than you actually think in scale. It looks to me about quarter scale of what a standard, remote control helicopter would be in our physical terms and sense, right? So fantastic that they've got this thing working. And look, those applications, like Corey said, they're coming back into our universe at some point in time to make some things that we do better, or deliver more Amazon packages. Who knows?
You'll benefit
one way or another.
That toilet paper you order is gonna get here.
He went there. Hey, remember, just give him the outro, and we will move on.
Yes. So thank you. So please like and subscribe and share. We love talking about all this cool tech, and whether it's from space or cars or whatever it might be. So we very much appreciate all the support. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll do more. And with that said, I'm going to take in another journey. Guys, I like autos. I'm a little bit more into the car scene, and there's something that just came up recently that the Mach E, in and of itself, just went through its International Highway Safety Institution's crash testing. And like I said at the top of the show, it did phenomenal, okay? They were very surprised at the fact that this thing did great in some of the overlap tests, and it earned the top prize, except for this top prize comes with a plus or a non-plus. It didn't get the plus, okay? And look, and not to be disappointed with the fact that they did a phenomenal, and I do mean phenomenal, job with the design, because if you're watching some of these impacts, and you've seen some of this before from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety as well. Okay. This thing is pretty well designed, because you don't see any intrusion into the main cabin. You don't see the things that are typical of roof rippling. You do see a lot of load shedding. And obviously at this level, they've really sorted out this car to be safe. And when they prepared the dummies, they put them in the vehicle, and they realized that, hey, the structure was sound. The occupants were well protected. There was no intrusions at the foot box. There was no intrusion at the leg area. And then they continued to do more testing. Even the side impact testing, it's worthy of the highest rating that they could possibly give, which is fantastic. Now, there's a caveat with that. As you still watch some of these videos with the crashes going on, the caveat was that they said that the only reason why it didn't get the plus rating is because there's a discrepancy between what's available on the base model Mach E and what's available on the premium. And what it basically comes down to is light. And I'm going to shine a light on it, because basically what they're saying is that had it been equipped with the premium headlights, it would have actually been able to go through another part of their testing where it would have illuminated more of the side of the road and possibly avoided other contact with things because of the spread of the beam of light. Now, this is fascinating that we can actually take a vehicle in today's stature, especially a brand new electric vehicle produced by a major manufacturer, by Ford, making inroads, obviously, to face up against competitors like Tesla, and they have the forethought to put the premium headlights on the premium model. Well, it's not even that easy, okay? And I'm going to cut away from these crashes just a little bit more here, because, well, it's great to see all this fantastic part about the crashing and how well it did.
Ford does have another trick up its sleeve, and it's actually quite devastating if you think about what's coming up in the market for headlights. Now, my car has adaptive headlights, right? What it basically does is my GTI has the adaptive headlight kit. It turns the headlights synchronized with how much you turn the wheel into a corner, which works fairly well. However, Ford's taking it one step further. Their new GPS-based headlight system will transform the way we look at roads because it is accurately going to understand where you are on a road, anticipate where you might physically be turning, and illuminate that corner of the road in a way where you and I would see more road than practically any other headlight system. And you can see here in this demonstration, whereas as this vehicle is approaching a right-hand turn, it illuminates specifically the inside of the road to the right-hand side, giving the occupant and the driver a better unobscured view. And what that translates into, as you see in this other simulated view, is better reach into a corner with lighting where you get more advanced information before entering a turn. Now, first of all, it's fantastic that Ford has even put this into perspective, number one. Number two, they actually have it physically testing in their simulators right now. They do have the software and the hardware ready to go. It's been tested on a Fusion. There's another video out there that actually shows it going through the marks of these adaptive generations of where the actual GPS is understanding the road is, the obstructions are, and how to systematically light it, which is amazing. But I'm actually going to say that I'm impressed. Okay, I'm really impressed with Ford's ability to be forward thinking on this. Okay, let's face it, the Mach E has garnered accolades from people that have touched the car, been in touch with, they've said it's fantastic. They say it's a Tesla competitor. They've obviously garnered a result that's nearly Tesla-esque because, unfortunately, like we said before, the Volvo Polestar, the Audi e-tron, and the Tesla Model 3 they've already got that plus rating. Okay, they already got it.
Yeah.
But to see Ford miss it by that much, if I was with Ford and I was a Mach E, purchaser, I would not hesitate to buy the Mach E. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's got a lot going for it. But hey, man, how would you now? Look, I know you're a Mustang fan because you've had one for decades. Okay, and you are. So this kind of hits.
I've got a different perspective here.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a Mustang guy and a Tesla guy.
So what's your thought on this one, man?
Yeah, so just kind of recapping. I mean, from what my understanding was, the Mach E, they would have given it the plus, so the top safety pick plus, if all the trims had this system.
Correct.
Or
correct.
If they, well, not the GPS system, but an equivalent. I guess the premium version of the Mach E had really good headlights that had the plus. Would have deserved a plus. Correct. But since all of the trim levels for the Mach E, if you're interested in Mach E watching our video, since all of the trim levels didn't come default with this better headlight system, then it doesn't have the plus rating. Notwithstanding that, just like you mentioned before, Mike, I mean, the car still got the top safety pick, just not the plus. So it's still quite a safe car. And I wanted to just point that out again because, the Audi e-tron and the Tesla Model 3 in particular all have that top or plus rating. So they're all quite safe cars. If you're into looking for a new car and you've seen that, okay, the Tesla Model 3 is a pretty safe car, that same caliber is where the Mach E is. So they have made quite a good and safe car. And then, going over to these headlights, it's interesting that they test them out on a Mustang. Because again, as you said, I'm an old Mustang guy. I had a Mustang before. I had the Model 3. I had a 2004 Cobra Mustang. I know I don't have it anymore. You can say what you want in the comments. I know. It's a long story, but anyway. But I am very happy with our Model 3. Sure. I'm happy that it ended up being one of the safest cars we could buy. It's quite fast, zippy, quick, as we'd say. But I think going along with, Mach E versus Tesla or the e-tron, right? It's all comes, if we're talking about safety, they're all really quite good, which is nice. Obviously just different other things that might be different. But look at these headlights. These headlights, man, that's very cool.
Fantastic tech.
The interesting part, it's GPS. It has GPS. It takes into account where you're going. It takes into account how fast you're going, the radius of the turn you're gonna be turning soon, right? So all these things that you would want to know as a driver, this is going to assist you. I'm also kind of curious how this factors into their autonomous driving capabilities that are coming, right? Because if you can see the road better, then if they're using sensors that are visually based, then the car could see those obstacles better as well. For what it's worth, the Tesla that I have, the Model 3, does have really good headlights. The best headlights I've ever driven in a car, actually. You can see very well, even on low setting. High beam is a bit too bright, but they do not have any rotation like your car does. Your car has, I know I've driven your car, seen it. It does actually
It does.
turn
You
into the
can
corner,
see it
which
turn
is
in.
quite useful.
And the difference, but here, let me just interject there for a second as you're talking about that, right? Yeah. My car's got a good rating in all of its crash ratings, right, which is fantastic, and you can see that by the top picks here, and it was one of the top safety picks 2015. And you're right, you do actually see it, but however, it doesn't compensate for anything else except for turn-in radius, and it will compensate slightly for speed, but it doesn't know what I'm looking at. In other words, it can't project off of a GPS positioning system, which
it doesn't know you're turning
that's
right
so
there.
forward thinking that who would have, it's like you kind of have to ask yourself, like, well, all right, who thought about that one, right?
It's a headline I didn't think I would be reading anytime. I mean,
not that I thought of either.
It makes sense.
Sure, makes perfect sense.
But when he sent this, I'm like, GPS based headlights. I'm like, okay. Okay, let's read it. And yeah, it makes sense that the car, if you've plugged in a router, even the road is a one-lane road and there's only one way to go. Whatever it might be. It makes sense that the car's like, hey, you're going to want to see over there. I'm going to put the lights over there.
Makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense. So obviously what leads to be seen how well it's implemented, but also how much it's going to cost us all. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. And then, tagging that back to the Mach E article, it is a shame that they couldn't put all the better headlight system on all the trims.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Now, there is another problem that I have with this kind of setup as well, though, and not the problem that I have with their setup or design, is that the newer GTIs, the Volkswagen GTIs, don't have the adaptive headlight system that mine does. They do have LEDs, but I don't believe they're fully adaptive, which is kind of one of the reasons why I'm like, man,
what do they do? They just standard?
Standard. But now look, LEDs are superior in one other respect, right? An LED bulb, you can take the actual bulb and the shape of that light, and you can make it much more accurate because you can put deflectors in front of that bulb at a closer range because the heat isn't nearly as great, and you don't have to worry about that building up nearly as much in the headlight unit itself, especially as well as because they can be cooled. Now, I've adapted my wife's car. I put LED headlights in that one. It runs on fans. You can hear the fans when they're actually moving, when the lights are on and stuff like that. So for me, though, it's like, I wonder how many steps back or how many steps forward other manufacturers are going to have to learn from Ford's system when people realize, hey, it's got a great adaptive lighting system. Maybe we should either, sublet this technology from Ford or come up with something a little bit better for ourselves, for our premium models, because that's a good get for Ford, to know that you've got a better lighting system on your Ford, Focus than you might have on, say, a $130,000 Porsche. Pretty big deal.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And again, it tags straight into to safety, of course. The fact that people want to be able to see better at night, this leads to obstacles that may not even be on the road. They may be just off the road. If you're turning into a really sharp turn and there's maybe an animal or a deer in the road there. You might not see it in a car that doesn't have these because, your car, it's quite a sharp turn. Maybe you're not going super fast, but it's a sharp turn. You're just, you haven't got there yet and it's too late when you get down. These are exactly what you'd see in the daytime if you're looking into the turn like you should be. So it's great.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, you know what? It makes me go between. I think my next purchase when we ditch this SUV might be an electric one, and it's like the Mach E's pulling pretty close up to the Model Y, but I'm still pulling for Cybertruck. Go Cybertruck.
Cybertruck. We have to see what it's going to look like when it comes out. But Cybertruck's all on everybody's mind.
For sure.
Still.
Hey, folks, and remember, if you like what you have heard today or this evening on our show, remember, like and subscribe and follow, and we'll keep bringing you more information like this. Just weird stuff that we find can pretty pretty decent for the tech and what we might be using in the not too distant future. So it's nice to talk about, and be great to hear from you guys. And you know what? Let us know in the comments below what you think about Ford's Mach E and the new lighting technology, because I think it's exciting, and maybe there's more to it. And if you've got anything to shed some light on the subject, you know, it had to come out that way. Sure. Let us know. All right, in the comments below. All right, where are we going after this one, mister?
We're going to hit the SLS real quick.
Oh, baby. SLS.
Yep. So kicking it off, the next one here, I'll take it there. So we're going to go to Auto Evolution over there. It's on the internet, other places, but it's an update on NASA's SLS. So again, that's the Space Launch System, and in particular, we're talking about the booster, the stage 1 part of the SLS. It's been over at Stennis in Mississippi doing some testing. If you guys, we covered a bit of it on our channel as well. When they're calling green runs or green fires, where they're testing the big RS-25 engines, I believe they are. And you guys might remember they had one test where it didn't run quite as well. The program's automated. It shut off early. They had some issues. They made another test, and it quote went as let me get the
good
quote
as
because
expected, right?
I think they said it's went as good as it possibly could go, or something like that. And but the point being that they've pulled it off the test stand. They have to obviously unload a bunch, wait for the weather to be nice so there's no wind, and they crane this giant boosters thing off of the test stand, and they lay it down, and then they barge it over to Cape Canaveral, which is it's on its way over here. So this 212-foot stage 1 is on a barge, and it's on its way over to Kennedy. So and that's where they're going to be doing the rest of the SLS testing and launching. So it's been a long time coming, right? We've been obviously keeping track of a lot of SpaceX and Starship stuff, but the SLS is still running in the background, and they're still doing things. And it leads to be seen exactly how this all works out. We know we broke a little bit of news just recently how SpaceX had won a contract to do the actual lunar landing part with the Starship core. So actually bringing the Orion capsule up in lunar orbit, then down to the moon, do whatever they need to do, and then actually when they want to leave the moon, they would be the same Starship component taking the Orion capsule back up to the lunar orbit. So Mike and I were talking just before about how this is all really going to work, and I guess we'll lead to be seeing exactly how they do it. But of course, it sounds like Orion, the capsule with astronauts on it, will launch off of the Earth in the SLS, and then maybe meet a Starship component over in lunar orbit. We'll see. But anyway, point being, we might have another big rocket launch coming up here on the Space Coast, and you know where we're going. I know where I'm going with this, right? Everybody, I'm going. If it's going to launch, we're going to be able to take a look at it. So, I'm excited.
Should be cool.
Another giant rocket, quite big. I mean, I haven't seen a Starship launch or a test in person, of course. They're over in Texas, and excited to see one of those. But if we can get an SLS as well, I'll go take a look at it.
Oh, well, of course. Well, and if there's an SLS that's going to go vertical and actually fly somewhere, we're going to be there. We will be there for that.
That's huge.
Here's the difference. Okay, what's huge about it is, look, we've said it before. Falcons are great, and surprisingly, the noise that came off of Crew 2 this past Thursday morning was phenomenal. Okay, that sounded like good old-fashioned, almost shuttle material.
Not to mention that lighting.
The lighting was fantastic. And look, there's going to be another video coming out from that, because I've posted a short clip back to YouTube that I've got to release, because I want people to actually see the phenomenon. We're going to retitle it and say, see the best launch possibly ever from, Space Coast, like you were standing on the river's edge. But we got that coming to you. But however, SLS makes noise. Like,
it's going to be
loud. Okay. This is we know the difference between a shuttle launch, and we know the difference between a Falcon, and a Falcon Heavy is loud. Don't get me wrong. Falcon Heavy is loud. Shuttle was throttling loud. It had a complete.
Shuttle had the solid rocket boosters, but still, I mean, these RS-25 engines. There was not 4 of them on the shuttle, and there's 4 on the SLS. So it's gonna be
loud. So I'm excited. I want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to feel it. The whole 9. All right, close them out.
We'll keep you up to date. we'll keep up to date of that, of course. And you know, like, share, subscribe. You guys know the story. We're gonna be at the live rocket launches, and we'd like to bring you guys along.
Yeah, we would.
Please join.
This just flashed up on my phone. Well, I'm just throwing it out there. Elon Musk is hosting Saturday Night Live on May 8th.
I did see that. I did. Well, I saw.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I might actually have to tune in for that one. Anyhow,
I think I might have to watch it. I mean, you guys know Elon. When you see him talk, he's even with scripted things, he's just a little awkward.
Yes, he is.
But he's, you know, you can tell he's got a lot going on. But he's just, when he speaks, it's kind of, it's just awkward.
It's anything like the Cybertruck launch, okay, it could be epic. Okay, I love Elon Musk. Don't get me wrong. I think the guy's phenomenal. Okay. He's probably one of the smartest people you're ever going to see on planet Earth right now, as far as we've ever been alive. But it could be epic, and it could be worthy of an outdoor movie night. I'm thinking, but we'll see. I could have, because that one you have to watch live. I think that would be fantastic. All right. Yeah. So I got some other stuff here that's on the oddities of space, and
bring it over.
Yeah. So this is not so easy, folks, to just kind of blurt out there, because look, it is what it is, right? ARS Technica ran an article that says China's state rocket company unveils rendering of a Starship look like. And they've been tracking SpaceX from the beginning. And there's an associated video that goes along with it. And just before we get into the video, there's some tidbits that are just cut out to this video, just so we can look at some of these stills. And this it is Starship. Okay, it looks a little different. When you look at this video, you're going to see it. And they also have this other, I think, more interesting design, which is a scramjet style rocket that's launched off of some sort of tracked positioning system on the ground. But check this out. This is coming direct to you from what was reported in that article. This is the video that they took those screens from. And look, hats off to Elon and company that they have produced probably one of the most sought after technical companies in the world, in SpaceX, and that Starlink is doing so well, and that they're able to push the forefront of space technology to the point where people are literally looking at it in a Flash Gordon type-esque arena. Okay, no one envisioned a stainless steel rocket taking off and landing vertically, pretty much unaided, not in my lifetime, ever doing it in the ways that we're seeing it now. But if you look at this video, this is really funny though, with the phone floating. That's kind of hysterical. But when she glances out the window, this looks just like Starship. It looks like it's going to perform the same style, almost belly flop entries back onto Earth, and then land vertically and take the position the same way Starship has been proposed by SpaceX and company since day one. So that part of flattery is very interesting. However, the second part of the video, which nobody really talked about, is this levitating or maglev launched rocket, which goes into a scramjet, which goes into a high altitude shuttle looking device, which makes Mach 5 look achievable. I believe we've already achieved Mach, and they're saying Mach 10 possibly. Mach 15 might be tough.
Yeah, upper atmosphere.
Yeah, upper atmosphere might be tough, because I think the max we've ever seen off the coast of California is like Mach 7.4 or something like that. However,
well, I'm not sure about the altitude. That's one thing. So yeah,
it looks like it runs on really fast though. That's for sure.
Yeah, it did it.
What?
I mean, I can't read it, of course, but did it say it hit Mach 3 leaving the launcher?
I didn't see that part of it. However, look, I can replay that part here. I'll just kind of zoom back to see what it was when it left, because Mach 3 on the ground. It says Mach 3. It's Mach 3 when it first ignites the engines at Mach 3. So
that's distance. I see it. 3 kilometers. Okay.
But now the other thing is, you've got to throw this thing literally off the planet.
Wait, no. Does that say Mach? Is that a Mach 3 at 3 kilometers?
Mach 3. Oh wait, it says Mach 1.
Is that what that says?
Yeah, it does say Mach 3.
Left side of that screen at a minute 5?
It's there, but it doesn't actually achieve it. It says Mach 1. So it's going to launch at Mach 1. But forget about that, because here's the more interesting part. What do we do about the fact that with all the space innovation in the world, right, and how much money that Elon Musk is developing into Starship and other proposed technologies, that basically some other company or country for that matter could basically come in and produce a almost replica? I mean, it's happened before. So just interesting. And I don't know if that's good, bad, and different. I'm not one to judge. It's not my place to judge this, right? It obviously means that the SpaceX design is successful. But imitation, flattery? Are we in that realm, or is this theft? I don't know.
Well, I mean, just my 2 cents there, of course. As you said, I mean, they're obviously looking at it because it's working,
course.
right? On that same note, SpaceX is still working out all the kinks of the whole Starship, the boosters. I mean, that whole thing isn't technically fully going
No,
yet,
agreed,
right? I mean, we haven't seen this. If you don't know already, watching the video, Starship is still in development, and they've got some more ways to go. Of course, Elon's plans for Starship are quite vast, all the way to Mars and possibly beyond. So fair enough, but China getting the kinks worked out. I think this might be kind of along the same lines as what we've talked about with the EV car industry. Like, people are innovating, and then there's people that are imitating, and the people that are imitating are trying to catch up in a way. And the fact that, at least in this case, as I'm talking, Tesla doesn't stagnate; they keep innovating.
Correct.
They don't say, okay, this is working, we're just keep doing this. No, they're like, okay, and we've already got like 4 things we're already working on. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, for what it's worth, Elon's even said, I think I just saw him say something a few weeks ago, that, if they don't continue innovating at the rate at which he hopes they do for Starship, they won't even make it to the full-fledged Mars base in his lifetime, if with the way he's looking at what the kinks they have to still work out. So
wait, what is he? He's in his 40s, right? Elon Musk is how old? He is. I think he's 49.
I have to find that article again, because I remember reading it. But
he's 49 years old. Okay, he's 49. So let's say, if he wants to do this within his lifetime, 30 years, which would make him from 49, make him up 79, 80 years old. Where he and I do believe that Elon Musk is probably one of those people that will live a long and fruitful life, and I do believe that he's got the integrity and the brain powers to probably be able to use that at that age in his life. 30 years. That's going to be a tough to get people on Mars in 30 years. People always think it's so easy, right? The same thing with adaptation of electric cars, and Toyota hinted at it just a few weeks ago, saying, look at what it took us to get to hybrids. Right, it took us 25 years of hybrids, and now they're finally accepted into the performance category. And now people think that e-cars are just gonna snap your fingers and take over the marketplace. Elon Musk has been at that game for another 4.5, 5 years already, and now people are finally going, well, look, he's selling 500,000 cars. So he's right. I think he's absolutely right on his abilities to think that it's going to take that long for this to develop on the timelines, from what he what he assumes.
And just some small perspective. I mean, if anybody is curious, Tesla was founded as Tesla Motors in 2003. Now, it wasn't with Elon then, right? But it's something to mention that it's been around since 2003. So it's been around a while. So like we said, it doesn't, they don't solve these problems super quick. But
you know what's sad, but not sad at the same time? How much of many of our conversations always turn back to Elon Musk. and I look, we might as well just rename the channel to the Elon Musk fanboy channel, because but here, okay, this is sincerity at its finest, because here's the difference. You can't have a conversation about the Mach E without talking about Tesla, because there's foundry work there. You can barely talk about space exploration and anything else right now, because he's built a foundation there. You can barely talk about space telecom and telecommunications and so on and so forth, because he's built a foundation there. Who knows what Neuralink is going to bring? Who knows what the Boring Company is going to finally, have in its repertoire? And now you're right back on top of it with space, and you can't get out of that circle of that level of technology without talking about Elon Musk.
I think that's the interesting part, like you said, because it's not like he's in one sector.
No.
Right? He's purposely put himself in freaking everything. And in a way, he's just doing things he says, why don't we do it this way? And people say, well, because XX, why? And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Like, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we just do it? And then he just does it. So
30 years from now, you're not going to go out and buy a game controller. You're going to go out and buy a neuronet, and it's going to be, it's going to be his, and you're going to plug it in your brain, and that's what you're going to run your gaming systems on. And you're going to be like, Oh, that's totally, that's totally acceptable at some level, and you're going to be chasing possibly after his dream. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see what he does on SNL.
Yeah, that could be hilarious.
That could be really, really good. Anyhow, with that, folks, we're out of time. We're out of topics, but we do appreciate your participation. And, hey, we got a couple of videos out there that are blowing up, and they're all part of what this show does. So, sometimes we get the viewers, sometimes we don't. But the difference is that when we actually get into the work of what we're doing, we do see results, and we're thankful for the success. Some of our videos keep going beyond what we thought. They keep generating views, which is fantastic. But if you get a chance, drop us a comment below, like and subscribe, because, hey, every bit helps, and we can continue to bring you stuff like this and get you guys to be part of the discussion. So, and that's what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. So if you get a chance, drop it a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. That's what I got.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm
all right. Too. I'm good, guys. We will. I don't know if we're doing Wednesday. I'm doing some business stuff this week, but I'm hoping we can get Wednesday down. But definitely Thursday night we'll be back on, and then maybe if we have to make up some time, maybe a Friday night or something else thrown in there. But thank you guys so much, and we will catch you real soon. Take care.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Peace. Bye. There we go. All right. With that said,